Hello and welcome to Part 7 in this series of videos exploring the literary references in the Chinese web drama 山河令, aka Word of Honor. In this video, we are going to talk about two concepts that are lost in translation because there are no fitting words or phrases for them in English. The translators did their best. The first concept I want to talk about is yuan, which the show translates as fate. The direct translation of fate should be 命运. Yuan isn't as rigid or as deterministic as fate. It doesn't have the connotation of being laid out for a person by a deity. Yuan is a Buddhist concept, and it is said to last 3 lifetimes. Fate doesn't have this connotation of being influenced by your actions in a past life. Yuan is something that is more fluid than fate. It can be influenced by people's actions towards each other. Zhou Zishu said, 有缘再见, which means, if we have yuan, then we'll meet again. And Wen Kexing decides to make their yuan happen by following Zhou Zishu around. Like I said, people's actions can influence their yuan, and Wen Kexing is trying to deepen their connection. Although I feel like the more I try to explain it, the more vague it becomes. So I'll end this part by saying, 有缘千里来相会, 无缘对面不相逢. Which means, people who have yuan will cross thousands of miles to meet. People without yuan can be face to face and not meet. The other concept I want to talk about is 知己, which the show translates as soulmates. The direct translation of soulmate should be 灵魂伴侣. The term 知己 literally means knows self. 知己 doesn't have the romantic connotations that soulmate have, nor does it have the related meaning of being created for each other by a deity. This is why I dislike equating soulmate with 知己. Someone can be your 知己 without being your lover. A 知己 and a lover can be different people, or they can be the same person. In the original novel, Wen Kexing and Zhou Zishu are set up as both 知己 and lovers, but due to censorship, all they can be in the show is 知己. And 知己 is how they acknowledge each other in the show. And you can tell that they're meant to be 知己from the first episode, when Zhou Zishu was on the steps of the bridge, basking in the sun. Both Gu Xiang and Zhang Chengling thought he was a beggar, but Wen Kexing took one look at the disguised Zhou Zishu and said, he's enjoying the sun. This scene sets them up as a pair of 知己. They understand each other even without explicit communication. I also noticed that in episode 9, they translated the 4 stages of Anji's relationship as soulmates, which is a bit strange. The word used for them is 知音, which has a similar meaning to 知己. It literally translates to knows sound, as in they understand each other's music. The most famous story about 知音 is mentioned by Zhang Chengling in episode 18, after Wen Kexing's comment about wanting to become a hermit if Zhou Zishu dies. He says, 就像俞伯牙摔琴吗? 俞伯牙摔琴 means 俞伯牙 breaking his qin. Qin is this instrument. There's many versions of this story. Here's the one I heard the most. 俞伯牙 is a famous musician during the spring and autumn period. And one day he met 钟子期, who understand his music. Yu Boya is thinking of the mountains when playing. 钟子期 said, "It sounds like the towering mountains." When Yu Boya thinks of flowing water when playing, 钟子期 said, "It sounds like the vast rivers." The two men became good friends and promised to meet each other next year at the same place. But 钟子期 died before they could meet again. After Yu Boya learned of his friend's death, he became heartbroken and played one last song in front of 钟子期's grave, and then he broke his instrument and never played again, because his 知音 was gone, and thus there's no one he wants to play music for anymore. There's also a piece of music attached to this story called 高山流水, meaning high mountain and flowing water. During the Tang Dynasty, it got split in two, one part called 高山, high mountain, and the other part called 流水, flowing water. I shall put a link to the music. This is why Zhang Chengling hesitates and says no, that won't happen, after he alludes to the story. Because Yu Boya broke his instrument after the death of his 知音, and 知音 has a similar meaning to 知己, and Wen Kexing's 知己 is 周子舒, and he doesn't want 周子舒 to die. This, by the way, is why this old man does this after the death of his friends. It's a reference to this story. I hope this cleared up these two concepts for you. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.